Nestled in the noisy Veteran Pavilion, we've got a school kids special on the main line in Pennsylvania. It's a Big East matinee as the suddenly surging Villanova Wildcats host the Butler Bulldogs. And hi, everybody. I'm Matt Janis alongside Sean St. Jacques. Megan Caffrey joins us in a little bit. What a great atmosphere we have today inside the Finn. Almost 4,000 school kids packed in and ready to watch an all-of-a-sudden red-hot Villanova team.
How good have they been? I mean, they really picked it up during Big East play. Coach Harry Beretta's not so sure how they're figuring out what they are, and they're in really good shape against a tough Butler team, though, coming in, trying to get back on track.
Butler got its first conference win of the season last time out against Xavier, thanks in large part to Nida Caceres.
Oh, they really needed it, Matt. I mean, going into that game, dropping a couple of tough games at Hinkle, she steps up with 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals as well. Did it on both ends in a game that Butler really needed to have against a conference rival. And on the other side, Villanova coming in off a couple of really good wins on the east, further up north against Seton Hall and St. John's. Mary Gadeka was huge in those games, 19.3 points per game. How about 7 rebounds and 2 assists per game as well? Her leadership on and off the court, so vital for such a young Villanova Wildcats team, but they're coming in good shape.
They're 3-1 in conference play. Butler is 1-2. We hear from Megan on the other side of the break. And after that opening tip, Butler and Villanova on the Big East Digital Network.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Sean. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together, and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
Welcome back into Veteran Pavilion, where the Villanova Wildcats are gearing up for their Big East home opener against the Butler Bulldogs. And Nova head coach Harry Beretta told us he was brutally honest with his team going into their last road stretch, saying he thought they had a negative chance of winning against the preseason 2-3 St. John's and Seton Hall on the road. However, after the sweep, he said he gave his team's performance a 9 out of 10, and that had to do with key contributions from role players like senior forward Bridget Hurley. She had 11 points in both of those games, and Coach Beretta told us that type of performance is going to be key in having success moving forward in the Big East.
Good stuff, Megan. We are underway as Butler begins with the basketball in front of over 4,000 here at the Veteran Pavilion. Spolier trying to create early. Parker, the point guard, gets it inside. The turnaround off the mark from Strong. Gadeka clears the rebound.
And not a bad look early on there as we take a look at the Wildcats starters. And Raven James has really been making some timely shots of late for the Wildcats. And we mentioned Gadeka at the top as Villanova turns it over. But Maddie Segrist has really been the star that nobody saw coming for the Wildcats after redshirting last year, Matt, and all of a sudden she's one of the best scorers in the conference early on in the conference season.
Meanwhile, on the other side, the Bulldogs led by Christian Spolier, one of the best in program history.
You mentioned how good Segrist has been, but Spolier has been doing it for so long for Butler, and she's been a mainstay in this conference.
Parker, an early bucket. That's always a mix and match for Butler. Her ability to create her own shot, a welcome sight for this Butler program, but she's got to keep her teammates involved. Off to a good open today. Gadeka got it knocked away, but regained control for Villanova. Nice skip pass. James left wide open, will take it and bury it. Good start for the Wildcats. Megan mentioned looking for that third score. Harry Peretta joked with us earlier in the week. We don't have to stop at 3. We could get more players involved.
It's been Herlihy the last couple of games for Villanova, but Raven James, again, the points haven't always been there, but they've been timely buckets. She's got a great look, great ball movement from Villanova, and Butler just can't get a good shot on the other end.
Strong miss. Segrist got the rebound and buries the triple.
Boy, how confident does she look out on the floor? Harry Peretta told us earlier this week that at times she looks lost on the defensive end, never afraid to pull the trigger on offense.
Relying on her natural ability, still figuring out the offense, but the year in this system helping. Meanwhile, travel turns it over as Spolier moving a little too quick for her own good.
That's what Villanova is hoping. They're trying to take Butler out of their offense a little bit. Butler's going to throw a lot of sets at Villanova. They're going to try to run a couple of different things. They're going to try to post up, use their athletes to their advantage. But if Villanova can kind of speed them up a little bit, turnovers for the road team, never a good thing.
A lot of skip passes from Villanova. They space the floor exceedingly well. That's Harry Peretta's system. Spacing and movement without the ball. Nice touch pass from Gadeka. 6 to shoot as James has to make something happen. Spinning her way to the lane and can't get the roll.
Well, Villanova somehow able to get a look. Great defense by Butler.
Parker tried to force one. Gadeka knocks it to the baseline. Kurt Godlewski in his 6th season, the reigning Big East Coach of the Year for Butler. Took him to the WNIT Sweet 16 a season ago. And feels like this team has not played its best yet, but has steadily improved so far this season.
Still high expectations for this Butler team. They want to win a Big East championship. They want to be around in March as far as the NCAA tournament as well. And like you said, there's so much talent on this team. A little bit of a slow start, specifically in conference play. But early on, you're starting to see the amount of weapons they have, but also defensively, I feel like there's still a lot of improvement for this team to go through.
Spolier drawing contact there from Bridget Herlihy. So she heads to the free throw line. She's 79% on the season. Spolier, Lebanon, Indiana native. And top 15 scorer in this program's history. One of the best in the Big East. Brings Butler back to within 2. Villanova wants to play this at a controlled pace. They are very content to go deep into the shot clock, make Butler defend for a full 30.
Worked so well against Seton Hall and St. John's, the overtime winning Queens as well. And this time, though, a turnover.
Nice defense, rotating over. Bry got the deflection. Spolier. Tough pass that Gadeka was there to take away. Gadeka so solid on the defensive end. Inside touch for Herlihy. Got her own miss, and Villanova will reset.
Great shot there. Still looking for a good look on the second opportunity.
Nice entry feed to Segrist. And this time, it's Caceres clearing the rebound.
Wow, 2 good post looks there for Villanova, just not able to knock it down. Butler holding firm inside, but those looks look like they could be consistently coming for the Wildcats.
Nice up and under move as Caceres picking right where she left off in Xavier.
Set so many career highs in that win over Xavier last time out, and you could see how much that could possibly do for her confidence and not being afraid.
Bridget Herlihy off the mark with the 3. Weak side rebound corralled by Torre. Poirier, the freshman, can do a little bit of everything. Gets it to the experienced senior Spollier, but the flat-footed block shot from Bridget Hurley.
That's what's been carrying Villanova for most of this season, even in games when they haven't played well offensively. The defense has been there consistently, even with this young team this season. Hurley sometimes scoring in double figures, at least the last couple of games, but her defense has been so crucial for Villanova in the early stages of this season, especially in the early stages of Big East play.
They've battled through injuries, illness. They only have 10 available bodies. They really only go 8 deep. 5 on the shot clock here for Butler. Caceres off the mark. Hurley, another board. Villanova's got 5 players that can bring it up. It's one of the beauties of the Harry Peretta system. Sechrist gets doubled. What a cut to draw the foul from Cameron Onken.
Yeah, Matt, positionless basketball really at times for Villanova, it feels like. And great look there and free throws at the end of the break.
So the Wildcats headed to the line, try to get the lead back, tied at 6 early in this Big East matinee.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together, and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Back at the Finn on the main line in Pennsylvania. Villanova and Butler tied at 6. Harry Peretta in the huddle right now, the Wildcats head coach. Longest tenured head coach in women's basketball history. He's in his 42nd season at Villanova. He announced before the year this would be his last. He's meant so much to this sport.
He really has. And, we even talked with Coach Godlewski a couple of days ago, and he mentioned early on in his career, he looked to Harry Peretta for advice, and when he found out that Harry Peretta liked the way that he liked to coach and the way he likes to play, just talked about what an honor that was just to have somebody of his ilk, shine a little bit of light on him, and just shows you how many players, how many coaches, how many fans, how many people that love basketball that he has influenced in such a positive way. And every time you talk to him, you just get something from him, whether it's that passion that he has, the knowledge that he has, and the love that he has for the game and for his players and for this program. The fans love him. Everybody is a big fan of Harry Peretta, including his competitor today. So it just shows you how influential he's been and how successful he's been on and off the court in his career and in life as well.
Cameron Onken at the free throw line gives Villanova the lead back. You mentioned Godlewski. He said as a young assistant at Butler, the first time he played the Wildcats was so impressed how they went about attacking on the offensive end, and they got killed. Second time, same result. So he went to Peretta in the offseason, and he said, can I come by and just kind of see how you operate as Onken gets the steal for the Wildcats? Godlewski didn't expect him to say yes. They were conference compatriots, and all of a sudden, Peretta was so welcoming. He said, come on out, and hosted him for a few days. They talked basketball, and that's Harry Peretta, always giving.
I mean, how cool is that? Not every coach is going to let you come in the back door and take a couple of tips and just talk basketball, maybe a little life advice, things like that. I mean, Harry Peretta just shows you not only a great coach, a great person as well.
Bry trying to operate off the bounce, finds Caceres, goes up and under. And again, a close miss, but an offensive rebound from Parker.
That's what Butler can do. They've got that size inside that can get them second chance opportunities with the athletes they have. That could be a factor as this game goes along.
Down to 5 on the shot clock for Butler. Parker trying to create. James tied her up. Excellent defense from the junior.
That's something that never wavers with Villanova. There's been a couple of times this year when Villanova goes through scoring droughts or they're struggling offensively. This is the kind of stuff that doesn't stop. Maybe a little bit questionable on the foul call there, but Raven James is there. She's there to stand her ground and able to get the jump ball, and it's Villanova possession on the arrow.
That's what coaches say. When you beat them to the spot, good things happen.
You never know, right?
There was some arm there for sure, but she had position. Grace Lang in for the first time for Villanova. Has it for the Wildcats. Seacrest has had a lot of traffic headed her way so far, as has Gadeka. Lang too tall with the pass for Seacrest, and another turnover for Villanova.
Be interesting to see how Lang kind of integrates her way into the rotation. Didn't see her a lot in the Seton Hall game, and she's kind of starting to get a little bit more time on the floor. A little bit of a miscue there with some miscommunication.
Started her career as a walk-on, Newark, Delaware native. Spolier denied. Again, Raven James working hard on the defensive end.
Another deflection for Raven James, and it seems like anytime anyone's from Upper Marlboro, Maryland around here, good things happen. Chris Jenkins, of course, the more famous of the two North Carolina fans. Put your hands over your ears. But for now, defensively, Raven James already showing you the impact she can make.
5 to shoot for Spolier. Working on Karanji, who just checked in for the first time and unable to clean it up. Shea Bry, and this time Gadeka the ball.
Yeah, Bry normally puts those back down, and those are opportunities Butler on the road has to take advantage of with that size inside and the athleticism they have. That should have been 2 for the Bulldogs.
Gadeka trying to make it happen on her own, cannot. Parker another rebound.
Seems like a couple of bunnies for each side, not going down. Good looks, though.
Strong with the strong move for 2.
Aptly named, really using her strength inside to get the bucket, and she could be a factor, I feel like, in this game. With her in the post, she can really make an impact with her size and her strength.
Herlihy, the step back won't go after the nice shake and bake move. Had Butler on the ground defensively.
She's not just a spot-up shooter. She's got some handles, and she's able to do some things isolated as well.
Very quick shot from Parker, but she's bailed out by Bry chasing down the offensive board.
Parker's really coming along well. Really has been learning the offense and taking a lot of steps forward for Butler over the last couple of games. The Xavier game really stood out for her.
Brought a cut by Spolier, freed herself up to draw the contact and earn another trip to the line. And that's Herlihy's second. As we mentioned, Villanova team is not blessed with a lot of depth, so foul trouble very damaging for Harry Peretta's team. Spolier lives at the free throw line. Top 10 in the country, both free throws made and attempted, and gets there as often as anybody in the Big East.
There's just certain players, when they go to the line, when you'd be just shocked if they missed. She's one of those players. And even when it hits the rim, you're almost 98% sure every time that she's going to knock it down on the road or at home at Hinkle. So to have a player like that with such composure at the free throw line, I mean, that takes a lot of time, a lot of work off the court, or rather away from practice and things like that. But that's just another little part of the game that just separates her from a lot of the best around the country, but also in the very competitive Big East Conference.
One of the best for Villanova, Mary Gadeka creating the deuce. Let's go down to Megan.
Well, thanks, Matt. You and Sean were talking about Genesis Parker as she's on the bench right now, but she had the first buckets in this game, and head coach Kurt Godlewski told us, although it didn't come across in the box score statistically, her game against Xavier was the most effective game she's had because she's created things for one and other players. She had one-on-one film sessions with her coaching staff to read the offense better and get better passes, guys.
Well, right now it's Gadeka going one on the entire Butler team, and Villanova back on top.
Well, as good as Parker's been, Gadeka with the spin cycle leads to an impressive bucket. inside. She's got a bag of tricks down low.
Megan's so right, though, about Genesis Parker, because Saris can't hit the hook, and it'll go back to Villanova. She's such an important part of this Butler team. It feels like her development at the point guard position might be the key to the Bulldogs season.
It's kind of percolated, or I should say kind of coincided with the way that Butler's been playing, especially in the Xavier game. Coach Godlewski kind of said she took like 3 steps forward in that game. And, against a rival, Butler and Xavier go way back. To step up in such a big game like that, really impressive.
Gardler using the glass, and Villanova has scored 6 straight here as we move to the final 17 seconds of the opening quarter.
Yeah, they had a 3-minute scoring drought a little while earlier in the quarter, but all of a sudden, the shots are starting to fall for the Wildcats.
Strong to the basket, can't hit, got her own miss, and this time uses the window. 3 seconds left. Seacrest, not nearly enough, and an entertaining opening quarter. Each team with some runs, but Mary Gadeka, the close to the quarter for Villanova to take the lead. Gadeka in the open floor has the Wildcats ahead by 2. Back with the second quarter in a moment.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Sean. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together, and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room, people, for victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
After one quarter, Villanova leading Butler by a deuce. The Big East Women's Basketball Tournament, presented by Jeep, returns to the Wintrust Arena in downtown Chicago, March 6th through the 9th. All section tickets for the 2020 Conference Tournament are now on sale, starting at just $50. For tickets, visit bigeast.com/WBB tickets. The promise is to be a great event. Everybody that goes will have some fun. Sure seems like the kids that have made their way to the Fin so far today enjoying themselves. The home team up 2. Villanova putting on a good show.
We were coming in a half hour before the game, Matt, and the kids were as loud as they've been all game, and they've been just enjoying the atmosphere, creating the atmosphere here. I love the shots that both teams are getting. I love the offenses both teams are running so far. They're getting good shots. Well, we've just started to see Villanova kind of start getting them to go. Butler inside has been really effective, and it's really been nip and tuck in the early stages of that first quarter.
Villanova putting a lot of bodies on Spolier. She frees herself here, but can't hit the 3. And Seacrest wants to run the other way. Tried to thread the needle. Spolier racing back for the steal. Inside touch. Torre creating space and getting a deuce.
That's not always effective at times when Villanova runs, rushing with a young team at times. Those mistakes could happen. Butler so composed at the other end. Torre using her strength to get inside for a pair.
Doesn't look like a freshman out there, the way she's able to body up inside.
Definitely does not. She looks more like an upperclassman, if anything.
Seacrest getting bumped. Is Spolier a little too physical? It's going to be a fun matchup to watch when those two go head-to-head. You got the senior against the redshirt freshman, but 2 of the most talented maybe in the entire Big East.
Yeah, the mainstay against the future of the Big East on the women's side. And it's always fun when those stars go head-to-head, especially the scoring stars. And both have made an impact early on, but both obviously could really make a big statement on who wins this one today.
Brooke Mullin in the game off the mark with the three. Torre the other direction, and Sechrist another rebound in traffic.
It's one of the things I love about this Butler team. You know, they're in a similar position as Villanova, still trying to figure things out with new players and things like that, but the confidence never wavers. You take shots like that, and at times, you know, maybe you look for a better shot, but Torre, again, not afraid, and got a good look, just couldn't get it to go.
Gardner came wide open, but missed the three. And one and done again for Villanova. Butler, one of the best rebounding teams in the Big East.
They're hoping for a big advantage on the boards today, Matt. And early on, you know, you look, and Butler 11-8, a +3. They look to extend that if they can.
Parker plus the foul going to the tin. What a take from Genesis Parker.
Well, we're not in the Cintas Center when she shined against Xavier, but that's just a strong, strong move to the bucket and beat the Villanova defender to the spot. Chance for a three-point play.
Rebecca Gardner picking up the foul for the Wildcats, and she converts. Butler's lead up to 3. More pressure here from the Bulldogs. We saw it in spurts during that opening quarter. Seems to come when Raven James isn't out there running point. Wildcats break it with ease this time.
Trying to quicken Villanova up a little bit. It's another early shot. It's another one and done. And Coach Godlewski's got to love that. That's what happens. You kind of force them to speed things up. And even when they get into the half court, things are a little bit more rushed. They settle for a 3. Butler gets another possession of a nice defensive stand.
That's Brooke Mullin's role. She's the outside shooter off the bench, but you can get that shot at any point in the possession. I think it was Harry Paredes' point. Nice hands from Gardner to tip it away. Spolier ends up with it on the perimeter and is fouled by Mullin.
Last couple of possessions, Butler's kind of followed their game plan as what they were trying to do to kind of stifle Villanova a little bit. Spolier again, a little bit of maybe a strength mismatch there. She kind of bullies her way inside. Did have the size mismatch, but had the strength mismatch. Finds her way to get to the free throw line, or rather on the side out on a strong drive.
And you saw Harry Paredes still making that point to Brooke Mullin that we mentioned to go. What an up and under move from Shea Bry, who's headed to the line. Just the assortment of moves inside on Sechrist.
Well, her first field goal, and Sechrist again, that time showing the inexperience defensively and kind of bit on a couple of those nice moves by Bry. Chance to go to get a three-point play. Only averages 4.2 points per game. Solid free throw shooter when she gets to the line. But again, one of those players that Coach Godlewski's hoping can really continue to be consistent on the offensive end. She showed it that time with a strong drive to the bucket.
Back-to-back old-fashioned three-point plays have the lead up to 6. Sechrist whips it across the timeline. Has Gadeka, takes the shot. And another one and done for Villanova. Butler looking to run. Spolier in the open floor for 2, and Harry Peretta has to take a timeout.
Well-timed timeout by Harry Peretta. All Butler over the last couple of minutes. What a great run here. Butler forcing some turnovers, getting out in transition. Spolier with a strong drive. Bulldogs in control so far at Villanova.
You're watching Butler Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go. Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be. I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
What a great stretch from Butler over the last couple of possessions. They've been hurrying Villanova up on the offensive end. Villanova's been settling for shots. Butler hasn't been. Bry with a strong drive there, plus the foul. She's got her first buck underneath, and Spoliar has been so good for so long in the Big East. And Butler's been getting one-and-dones defensively, with Villanova taking some shots they probably could get at any point in the possession, like you said earlier, Matt. But they're settling because of the pressure that's been coming from Butler. It's been speeding Villanova up. And on the other end, your defense dictates your offense. It's been leading to Villanova back defensively, little spread out. Butler's getting easier looks, and they're knocking them down inside. And Spoliar forces the timeout. And now how does Villanova kind of counteract, be a little bit more composed? When you get into the half court, you don't need to speed things up. Just kind of move the ball around like they were doing earlier, and you're going to get those good looks that you were getting earlier that just weren't falling.
And one of the things we've heard Harry Peretta talk about over the course of the year is when teams try to speed you up, you break the pressure and then get into the offense. Right now, settling for jumpers, and Peretta's team has seen Butler go on a 10-0 run to start the second quarter. They break the press again. Seacrest wisely passes back to Karanji, and they can run some offense. James into the lane. Follow from Onken. And they'll get a third opportunity. Onken has really struggled from deep, misses yet again. She's now 5 of 41 from distance this season.
Last couple of games, she's been so good defensive rebounding and doing the little things. But like you said, the shot hasn't been there from Onken. I thought that was slightly better from Villanova that time, but the second chance, you're still trying to get that shooter warmed up a little bit. Wasn't able to knock it down. She had an easier opportunity earlier in the possession. Couldn't make it.
Villanova in the zone here, able to get the rebound off the miss. Karanji. Nice feed for Onken. Again in tight, can't put it home, and the frustration beginning to show itself for the Wildcats.
Well, you saw her reaction there after she missed that second one, and almost say, how could I have missed that same shot the second time? And I think it's just being a little rushed when she gets towards the basket. But that's what Villanova is looking for, those kind of looks. But again, you got to knock them down. Butler continues to build some momentum off of Villanova miscues on the offensive end.
There's a turnover. Gadeko with the steal. The Wildcats have it, still looking for their first points of the second quarter. James had an effective opening period. Seacrest triple teamed as Spoliar took it away. And they call a kickball against the Wildcats.
Seacrest, I believe, was a little unbalanced on the elbow, and I think as she fell down, her heel batted the ball against the hardwood, and I think that's what led to the call by the officials. It's essentially a turnover as Butler gets it back.
Spoliar's probably looking at the official saying, I wanted the steal. I had that ball. But she's so unselfish. Caceres at the free throw line off the mark. Spoliar ends up wide open for three, and Butler is up 11.
Well, that's just a simple miscue on the box out down low, leading to a second opportunity for Butler, and Villanova doesn't close down on Spoliar. She'll kill you from range if you leave her open.
This is the issue for the Wildcats. Seacrest again surrounded, this time drawing the contact. You're not just seeing double teams inside against Maddie Seacrest. You're seeing triples, even a couple quadruple teams. Butler's going to take her away.
And that's the thing. You look at it here, and when you put the pressure on some of the role players, you start to see it get a little tentative on the offensive end, even in the half court. And great job by Seacrest just fighting through it to get to the line, although she misses the first free throw. But that's the thing. They're going to have to force it with the two players, Gadeka and Seacrest, meaning so much offensively. Butler trying to key in on both players, try to force the role players to beat you, as a couple teams have failed at recently in the Big East, but Butler so far defensively has done the job.
Neither team shooting it all that well. Butler a little better, though, at 39%. The Wildcats 26% for the field, trailing by 10. Bulldogs looking to add to their lead. Caceres into contact. Will head back to the line.
And right now, Butler clicking on all cylinders offensively, rolling through right now like a machine. Ball movement very crisp around the perimeter, and really just kind of flowing into an easy look down low, gets the contact, a chance to build on already a double-digit lead here in the second quarter.
Transfer from Maine in her second season with the Bulldogs. A national team experience in her native Spain. Played on the bronze medal winning 3-on-3 FIBA team in the World Championships when she was a teenager, then on the U18 Spanish national team. And Godlewski calls her the most versatile player on the team.
We've started to see that over the last couple of games, too. Obviously, the Xavier game stands out, but we've seen signs even throughout when you look back at her non-conference performances as well. There have been signs that she can do a lot of different things on the floor, and can't pick a better time than Big East play to start to really show that at a high level.
Onken gets it knocked away by Cazares, and another turnover for Villanova. Upe Atuso running point. Cazares along the baseline, and Segris the weak side rebound. Tough catch in the corner for Onken. Segris a rare open look, and she makes Butler pay.
So much better that time. Villanova's ball movement really dictated that possession, and Segris doesn't need a lot of room, and she's able to find the space and knock down a tray.
Spoiler thought about the answer. Instead, gets it back on the give and go. And Gadeka forces the one and done.
Well, you wouldn't bet against her in that position, huh? What a great give and go. Just couldn't get it to go off the glass.
Gadeka thought about pulling the trigger. Instead, going to run through the set. Karanji, nowhere to go along the baseline. Nice feed to Segris. The iron unkind, though. And Atuso the board.
That's more like it, though. That's back to what Villanova was doing earlier in the first quarter, setting up their stars to make plays on the offensive end. And like you said, the iron not on the same page as Segris on a good look.
Butler by 9. Atuso. A good job to keep it alive from Bot. And another opportunity here for Butler. Played off Parker. She's going to try to make him pay, and does.
Called her own number as that possession was kind of starting to get a little stagnant from Butler. Game plan has worked so well when it feels like those kind of shots just start to go down.
Segris looking for the answer, couldn't find it. Another one and done for Villanova. Butler now +7 on the glass. Atuso, one pass too many. Good rotation. Onken with his steal.
Yeah, that was a crucial help defensive stop there from Villanova, and still 2.5 to play in this first half. This feels like a big stretch for Villanova to try to get back into this game.
They were down 9 closing moments of the first half against St. John's. Gadeka, the step back won't go. And another rebound, Bry for Butler. Butler, the second best rebounding team in the Big East. They average +3 margin on the season. Well over that so far today. Cazares backing down Gadeka. She blocked the shot, and Onken kept it in bounds. And Villanova will end up with possession.
Just been the positioning that Butler's gotten down low has really been the difference between them as far as the rebounding. Obviously, the size and the athleticism helps, but desire when it comes to rebounding really trumps all of that, and Butler's had that so far in this first half. And you hate to throw the word perfect around as far as the game plan is concerned, but I think Coach Godlewski would have taken 30-18 with a $145 to go in the first half if you had told him that before the game.
Villanova's not scored in almost 3 minutes. They only have one field goal in the second quarter, although Gadeka will go to the free throw line to try to cut into the deficit with 98 seconds remaining in the opening half.
11 points combined between Segris and Gadeka so far. That might have been ball from Parker on the weak side, although the body down low might have been the difference maker on the call there. However, Butler's done the job defensively. The Stars have been relatively quiet for Villanova in this first half, and really the difference was when Butler started to press and Villanova started to get a little too quick on the offensive end, and that 10-0 run to start off this quarter was a huge difference maker in the first half, obviously, not just numerically, but at the way this game has been paced over the first 20 minutes.
The feel and the way Villanova has kind of gone into press mode offensively, as evidenced by Gadeka missing a pair at the free throw line.
Sometimes it just gets into your head and you feel like the game just keeps going like that, and when you have a chance to change it, but mentally you're not thinking about it.
Parker out of control, back to Villanova, and that was what Kurt Godlewski was talking to us about this week. Genesis Parker has a world of potential, but every once in a while there's a possession like that, kind of a giveaway.
And it's part of the process. Those kind of things will pop up from time to time, but that's when the confidence comes in. That's when putting it in the back of your mind comes in, and get back to doing the more positive things offensively like we've seen earlier in this quarter.
Gadeka had a double-team run at her, fell down awkwardly after she missed the shot, and Butler forces another one-and-done for the Wildcats. Villanova only 3 offensive boards the entire first half. 3-second violation gives it back to the home team.
Unforced error there. That's something that when you're on the road and you have a chance to kind of put a little more distance between you and the home team, those are miscues that come back to haunt you later on in the game. Now listen, Butler's in control. We're not thinking about that right now, but you had a chance right there to extend your lead to 14 points. That's a big miss opportunity there for Butler, and Villanova has a chance here to maybe get it to single digits.
Oh, but the steal from Torre going all the way for the layup.
Spoke too soon. Great defensive possession by Butler, and a great individual effort there by Torre, who's had a really strong first half.
2.5-second differential. James doesn't care. Hoists the 3. And it'll stay with the Wildcats as Onken battling on the glass. Looked like she might have pulled down Torre, but the officials give Nova the ball. Butler's staff couldn't believe it. They thought it was a foul. 3-second differential here. Shot and game clock. James was able to create in the first quarter. Has been quiet here like her teammates in the second. Gadeka is bumped. And Butler had a foul to give, so Nova will get the last shot here with 7 seconds left in the half.
And one stat that we haven't mentioned a lot, and it's a stat you normally look at right away, but the fact that Butler has held Villanova to 24% shooting from the field in the first half, pretty remarkable, especially after the way Villanova has been shooting the ball on the road the last couple of days in the Big East.
They really need one to go down here. 3 seconds. Gadeka trying to create. And that sums up the opening half for Villanova. Excellent defense from Butler, and the shots will not fall for the Wildcats. Butler able to turn defense into offense. Torre and company have the Bulldogs up 14 at the break.
You're watching Villanova women's basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be. I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Defense travels. Butler holds Villanova without a point over the final 4.5 minutes of the opening half, and the Bulldogs lead 32-18 at the break. Big East Fast Break is the weekly women's basketball show hosted by Megan Caffrey and Ashley Liotis, breaking down everything in Big East women's hoops. You can catch all new episodes of Fast Break during the season every Wednesday at 3:30 on the Big East Twitter and YouTube pages. On this week's episode, Megan and Ashley went around the Big East and hit on every team in the fastest 3 minutes in women's hoops.
We definitely had a lot of fun looking around the league to see what was going on within these first 4 games. And so what we put up were, we looked around all 10 teams. We came away with our biggest takeaways. We have 18 seconds to break each of these teams down. Ashley, you're on the clock to start us off.
All right, we are going to start here with Butler. They got their first conference win this week as they took on Xavier. A big feather in their cap right there. The first one is always one of the toughest. The Bulldogs led for nearly 33 minutes on Saturday, and Naida Caceres, the best day of her Butler career with 23.7 rebounds and 4 steals.
Now, Creighton has 4-time Big East Player of the Week, Jalen Agnew. However, we're going to look at defense for this J squad. They haven't allowed an opponent to score more than 75 points in a game this season. And yeah, that includes the Blue Demons, who are 3rd in the nation in scoring offense, averaging 86.9 points per game.
All right, taking a look at DePaul, the only team left to remain undefeated in conference play. We're going to be taking a look at some of their play a little bit later on, but as for now, they are outscoring every other team in the Big East. Check this, 193 steals in just 15 games. That's leading the conference by far.
Well, the Warriors have been struggling to find their identity this season after they graduated a pair of 1,000-point scorers, if you remember Dorothy Adamako and Deanna White. However, Memphis grad transfer Taylor Barnes has been the answer. She's averaging 13.1 points per game, the only Hoya to be averaging in double figures.
And over to Marquette, their first Big East win. We were just talking about them. We weren't sure kind of how those pieces were going to fit after losing so many seniors last year, Megan, but playmakers like Lauren Van Clunen, Selena Scott, Jordan King, they are the ones getting the job done. They have a chance to make a big statement this week with St. John's and Seton Hall.
Heading out to Friartown. The Friars are still looking for their first Big East win of the year. Reigning Big East Freshman of the Year, Mary Baskerville, leads the way for the Friars. However, what sticks out about this team is they are tough underneath the glass, specifically their defensive rebounding. They're first in the conference in defensing boards, averaging 28.7.
And over to Seton Hall, a lot of conference play left, but right now the Hall's only conference loss comes to Villanova. And I really like that they had a nice fast start against Georgetown this past weekend, outscoring the Hoyas 23-8 in that first quarter. That is exactly what you need to win in conference play.
Well, the preseason number 2 St. John's Red Storm is meeting expectations. St. John's is 2nd in the conference in scoring average, right behind DePaul, averaging 75.1 points per game. And a lot of that has to do with the backcourt duo Tiana England and Kadasha Hoppe. However, this offense is versatile. They are just 2 of 4 Johnnies averaging in double figures.
And Villanova, a very impressive start, 3-1 in conference play. Coming home 2-0 after that New York swing. And I have said it before, Megan, watch out because Gdeka and Seacrest are coming. In just 14 games, they have combined for 533 points. That is insane. Seacrest is first in the league.
Now, first-year head coach Melanie Moore and the Xavier Musketeers, they're still looking for their first Big East win of the season as well. Junior Ariana Gray has 19 career double-doubles, 3 this season, notching a career-high 28 points in the Musketeers' last game against Butler. She's 2nd in the conference in scoring and a key cog for this Musketeers offense.
You're watching Villanova Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go. Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
Back at the Finn on the main line in Pennsylvania, the home team Villanova, which has won 3 of 4 in Big East play, entering today trailing Butler 32-18. I'm Matt Janis with Sean St. Jacques. You'll hear from Megan Caffrey a little bit later on. Sean, both defenses played well in the first half. Butler's defense was dominant, and that's the reason why they have a lopsided lead.
It was the press that really changed things, man. It felt like early on a lot of shots weren't falling, and yeah, defense was good on both sides, but good looks weren't going down. Butler sped Villanova up, and that really changed things, specifically in that second quarter. It felt like Villanova even had more than the 4 that they had in the second quarter, but just showed you how strong Butler was defensively, and I thought Villanova got sped up, was settling way too much on offense, and just couldn't get good looks.
By the way, you hear the crowd roaring. It's a school kid special. There's a man standing at midcourt. You can see it on your screen, balancing a ladder on his chin. It is almost as impressive as what we saw from Butler defensively over the first 20 minutes, and it's the loudest this building has been all day. Kurt Godlewski talking to us coming in about the need to try to take the crowd out of the game. Villanova looked good early, but for the most part, Butler was able to do that.
That's been a good balancing act from Butler. I really thought defensively they sped things up. They made it really tough for Villanova. Listen, Gadeka got her shots early. Siegrist did as well. But after Butler changed, they made an adjustment. Villanova didn't really follow through with what they were doing with their game plan. I thought Parker was really good in the first half as well. You see here with the hoop and the harm there. Bry got in on the act as well. Really great post move there, getting past an inexperienced Siegrist defensively. And then listen, rebounding was a huge factor for Butler in the first half as well. And Spolyar, you can't give her that open of a look. And on a second chance opportunity, she knocks it down. Parker was really running the show for Butler. Got in on the act offensively, shooting the ball as well. Butler's game plan was really spot on in the first half. Can they keep it going is going to be the big thing to talk about going into the second half. Villanova, a lot of adjustments to make at the break.
Spolyar had 9, Parker had 8. Butler has a 14-point lead at halftime.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be. I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Big cities, big names, big legacies, big sisters and brothers, big ideas, big expectations, big stage, big results. That's the Big East way.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
Butler on the road, leading Villanova 32-18 at the half. Happy New Year, everybody, as we move into week number 2 of 2020. The year got off to a very sad start as the sport of basketball and really sports in general lost a giant on New Year's Day. David Stern passing away, the longtime commissioner of the NBA, meant so much, not just to the sport of basketball, but really to the sports landscape overall.
I made the NBA such a spectacle, didn't he? And you look back at what's changed with the draft. You look back at what's changed with stars in the NBA and the global impact that basketball has now. Wouldn't be the same without David Stern. And you just hear so many great stories of people that have been impacted by his impact in basketball, and such a sad time for the Stern family. We wish them all the best.
One of the people he certainly had a big impact on was the Big East commissioner, Val Ackerman, as they worked together when she was in charge at the WNBA. Her statement this week: "This is a moment of profound grief in the sports industry and the basketball world as we mourn a titan, an innovator, a perfectionist, a taskmaster, a role model, a mentor, and most of all, a dear friend. David Stern revolutionized what it means to be a sports league and a sports leader in an age that demands global awareness, technological savvy, and a grasp of social currents in all their forms. We will sorely miss his boundless energy, his unquenchable intellectual curiosity, and his irrepressible habits of asking hard questions, never backing down, and always speaking his mind. Those of us who have given our lives to the game of basketball owe it to David for taking the sport to heights Dr. Naismith never could have imagined. He was a commissioner's commissioner, and it was an honor beyond words to work at his side and to learn continuously from him for 3 unforgettable decades. The Big East Conference extends its deepest condolences to Diane, Andrew, and Eric, and everyone in the extended Stern and Bach families during this immensely sad time." The commissioner of the Big East, Val Ackerman, on the laps of David Stern.
You're watching Butler Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go. Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
Welcome back into Finneran Pavilion, where Butler holds a 14-point advantage over Villanova at the break. Butler head coach Kurt Godlewski telling me defensively his team has been locked in, and they're doing exactly what they want to do, contain Mary Gadeka and Maddie Siegrist. Offensively, they're sticking to the game plan as well. He said, if you remember, he told us before the game, when they are good, they are moving the ball around, getting a lot of touches, moving the ball inside and out, and Coach Godlewski wants to see his team continue to do that in the second half. As for Villanova, head coach Harry Peretta told me simply his team needs to score more baskets in the second half. Guys?
Thanks a lot, Megan. It's funny, we were talking off mic before we came back on air. We wondered what Harry Peretta said. We both assumed it would be something about gotta make shots. That's Harry Peretta. He's quite blunt in his assessment of his teams, and he's brutally honest.
Simple, but he also knows it's easier said than done. I mean, Coach Godlewski's team, as Megan got the report from the Butler side of things, I mean, couldn't have gone much better in that second quarter. And Villanova's got a lot to come back from after only scoring 4 points in the second quarter. It's going to start with ball movement. I mean, that was where they got their good shots in the first quarter. Can they get back to that?
Hurley, nice seal inside, but again misses from point blank, then got stripped as she got the offensive rebound, and a tie-up gives the ball back to Butler.
Well, they say the NBA is a make-or-miss league. The college game isn't too far off from that, and Villanova's just not making the looks that they're providing. I mean, Hurley, point-blank range, 9 times out of 10, she knocks that down. That was the one where it comes up a little bit short. And Harry Peretta, his words always seem to ring true. Just got to knock down those easy ones, and things will start to flow a little bit nicer for Villanova after they get a nice stop there.
Gadeka made it tough on Strong. Seacrest can't hit, and Spolier another rebound. Wants to challenge the whole Villanova defense, thinks better of it, and Parker will slow it up.
That's one of the little things that leaders on your team can bring. You know, try to pick up the tempo a little bit, didn't see the opportunity present itself, backs it back out, and you give your guards a chance to make a play.
Parker had 8 in that opening half. Spolier had 9. Spolier, good read. Saw James off balance, and she'll go to the line for 3.
Savvy, really savvy play there from Spolier. And listen, Raven James is such a good defender. When you get a player like that up in the air, you've done some work on the offensive end. And yeah, bit really hard on the pump fake, and 2 free throws upcoming for the veteran Bulldog.
You know, she's a little bit of a basketball savant.
Yeah.
When she was 4 years old, preschool teacher pulled her parents aside, said they'd never seen a kid with hand-eye coordination like she had. And then her first organized game the next year in the girls and boys club, she scored 69 points. Most teams, they'll go an entire season collectively, won't score 69 points. She did it by herself in her first ever organized game and kind of set the tone early for the type of player she would be.
Feels like the great ones. You can tell so early. It's one of those things where those kind of stories seem to pop up with some of the great players, and 69 points. I mean, that just seems impossible, but it just shows you from a young age how talented she was and the gift she was given from such a young age and what she's turned into today. Really impressive and great to see, not only for Butler, but for the Big East.
That's Kobe Wilt, Cheryl Miller territory there from Spolier.
Not too far off at all.
Seacrest again getting denied. They're really sandwiching her, fronting her in the post, and then lots of help coming from the backside.
Consistency on the defensive end. I mean, that's the thing. And when you're getting stops, too, it keeps your confidence up. It keeps you alive and awake to what's happening. And Villanova just continues to struggle in the half court, and they're just not knocking down shots like Coach Peretta mentioned to Megan Caffrey.
James missed one with the shot clock winding down again from in tight. Everybody hustling after the loose ball, but it ends up going to Butler.
Well, that's vintage Big East basketball right there. And it's one of those things where you don't know who's going to get it in the end, but you just dive for it anyway. And Raven James, again, contested on the way through, not able to finish at the rim through contact.
Villanova 6 of 29 now from the floor. A little miscommunication between Bry and Torre gives it back to the Wildcats.
I mean, there's the stat on your screen right there. 4 points since the end of the first quarter, and just seems like Villanova's been stalling since the end of that first quarter. And the more it seems like every stop Butler gets, the more the momentum builds for them. And so does the lead. The lead continues to build as their defense continues to be stout.
Butler went from down 2 at the beginning of that stretch to currently up 17. Gadeka barely keeping it in bounds. 6 to shoot. Gadeka's 35 feet from the bucket. And that one hit the baseline. Just nothing going Villanova's way.
That might have been the best stand of the bunch. I mean, great perimeter defense. You get a hand on the ball, you knock it away. Gadeka has to save it. She tries to get a shot up. It comes up short off a good contest. Seacrest is too far under the basket to get the ball back in. Phenomenal defense from Butler. And Coach Godlewski looks really content, at least right now. He knows there's a long way to go. The Pavilion always puts together some crazy performances, but for right now, they are hitting it on all cylinders on the defensive end.
Good hands from Gadeka. Still 10 to shoot. Parker. She's comfortable as the shot clock winds down, as is Spolier. Nice jump stop. Torre kept it alive, but Onken ripped it away from her. James thought about the transition tray. Again, the tough angle pass. Good job to keep it alive from Hurley. He sets up Gadeka, who misses. not much you can say right now if you're Villanova. Butler's doing a great job defensively. Wildcats are also missing open shots. That's a bad combination.
It really is. And with Butler also starting to get good looks on the offensive end, it's a bad trifecta right now for Villanova. Not a great shot, I thought, there from Parker. Maybe could have gotten a better look. But it's been rare. It's been a rare possession from Butler where they haven't gotten a good shot. I mean, the last possession I thought was so well executed, just didn't make the bucket. That time you settle a little bit, but I mean, Coach Peretta, I mean, you just see the look on his face right now. He's just hoping a bucket goes in sooner rather than later with 6 minutes to go in the quarter.
Duncan was falling down, somehow got it to James. Gadeka, a rare wide open look. And again, off the mark. Parker looking to push in the open floor into contact, no call, but guess who? Spolier.
I mean, those are the extra effort plays that make the difference at the end of the game. I mean, those don't show up in the stat sheet all the time. That's going to be a play that could lead to a big bucket potentially for Butler if they get a good look here.
Where'd she come from? Baseline jumper, she gets two more. Largest lead of the game for the Bulldogs. It's up to 19. They're more than doubling up Villanova here on the main line. You do not see this happen at the Vin very often, although Butler did this to a then-ranked Wildcat team 2 years ago. They've won 2 straight games on this campus, and they swept the regular season series a season ago.
It was funny. Megan Caffrey and I were on the Seton Hall Villanova game a few days ago, and we were saying, man, Seton Hall just doesn't do well with Villanova at Walsh. Butler just seems to come in here, whether it's men's or women's, and seems to really put together good performances. Just one of those things that just happens, it feels like.
James pulls the trigger on a wide open look, and the lid stays on the basket. Atuso got stuck. Gadeka continues to play hard on the defensive end, trying to keep hope alive. Herlihy. Gadeka trailing the play. Again off the mark. 10 minutes. Villanova has gone without a bucket.
Fourth of the game, Matt, that's gone by, and Villanova hasn't scored. And when you go back even to the first quarter, I mean, we're getting close to 15 minutes where Villanova's only put up 2 baskets. It's been remarkable the way that this game has developed.
Inside touch for Bry. Nice cut, but unable to finish it too, so it'll go back to Villanova when we return. Neither team filling it up here in quarter number 3, but Butler did its work early. Villanova needs a comeback. The Bulldogs up 19 with 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the third.
You're watching Butler Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together, and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? And we gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Villanova has gone more than 10 minutes without making a bucket. Butler has built the lead to 19. Consequently, More than halfway through this third quarter in a pivotal Big East showdown. Looking for position atop the Big East standings because the Big East women's basketball tournament presented by Jeep returns to the Wintrust Arena in downtown Chicago March 6th through the 9th. All session tickets for the 2020 conference tourney are now on sale, starting at just $50. For tickets, visit bigeast.com/WDB tickets. Right now, Butler has to feel really good about the way they're playing. Kirk Godlewski telling us coming into this game, Sean, this was an important one for his team, trying to build some momentum on the road. If they can hold on, they'll even their conference record at 2-2 and shoot up the conference ledger.
And they're in the middle of a 3-game road stretch, Matt. In the beginning here, they get the win at Xavier. Again, they've lost all their home games. They're about, if they keep this up, they're going to win all their road games. It's one of those things where it's just an oddity in the Big East, but it's been the combination we talked about. Butler's defense has been phenomenal. Villanova just can't get anything to go. And in the last 15 minutes, they've just done nothing offensively and haven't been able to get anything to go.
4 on the timer. Karanji again can't hit the open look. And one and done. That's another part of the problem for Villanova, too. They just have not been able to do much on the offensive glass.
You look at the stats. I mean, Butler hasn't missed a free throw. Rebounding is plus 13 at the moment. And anytime they get a good look, they're taking advantage of it.
As Caceres did there to increase the lead to 21. Villanova only 4 offensive rebounds in the entire game. They've missed 29 shots.
And Butler 8 offensive rebounds and just taking advantage of all their opportunities.
That looked more like Villanova as Gadeka missed the open shot, but it spaced the floor, allowed Herlihy to attack the offensive glass, and she'll go to the free throw line with a chance to at least end the drought.
They get a good look there. Herlihy does the job, but the extra effort goes to the line.
Megan, what was the message from Harry Peretta in the Villanova huddle?
Well, Matt, it was exactly what you and Sean were just talking about. Rebounds in the huddle. They were stressing, let's go back to basics. When the ball goes up, everyone get a man and box out.
Well, certainly need to force some one-and-dones defensively as Herlihy ends the drought. It's Villanova back to within 20. They also have got to attack the offensive glass as Herlihy did there.
Well, that's the other thing. They get the bucket.
Sechrist able to take advantage, and Villanova back to within 18.
The other thing is Villanova's only shooting 50% from the line as a team in this game as well. Those are the points that could really keep you around in a game like this, but it doesn't help that Butler has hit all 11 of their free throw attempts as well.
How about Herlihy trying to spark things here? Her block shot sets up the Wildcats, although Karanji's pass knocked to the sideline.
Just feels like a little bit of a relief in the building. Shot goes in after a missed free throw and some more points on the board. The drought is finally over. I thought the ground was shaking for a little second there when the basket went in, but you know, Villanova now, the next one feels big. If they can get another bucket here, maybe we can start to see the turnaround that the Wildcat faithful are hoping for here inside the fin.
A hold inside as Gadeka was battling for position with Torre, and they'll give the foul to Butler. Still time with 2:50 remaining in the third, but obviously it's a heavy lift considering you're down by almost as many points as you've scored the entire game. The good news is that's not a lot. 18-point deficit is Gadeka. Herlihy again left wide open, hits the 3.
Obviously much needed for Villanova. 3 specifically, not just a bucket, but a tray to go down. And can that now lead to maybe some better defense from Villanova's? Butler's really gotten just about anything they've wanted so far in the second half.
You know, very quietly, the Bulldogs struggling to make shots as well. Spolier got it partially blocked by Sechrist, and here comes Villanova. Mullin back in the game. Gardler. Herlihy again on the offensive glass. She tried to go up flat-footed. And this time the board for Brock.
And not the best shot selection there from Gardner. Could have moved the ball around, I think, a little bit more, maybe gotten a better look. Great job by Herlihy. Almost put that one right back up and in. But in the end, Butler gets the rebound and a chance to increase their already large lead.
100 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Bulldogs by 15. Spolier backing down on Gardler. Strong the offensive board and the putback.
6 points for Strong, and that ends a 2-minute scoring drought. Like you mentioned, for Butler, that was big for their confidence offensively as well. But those opportunities have been coming. That's the thing. They just haven't been taking advantage of them. If Butler finishes this quarter strong, it's going to be tough for Villanova to come back.
Nice skip pass from Mullin, and Karanji makes it pay off for 3.
She was so big in the win over Seton Hall on that road trip when they went up north, and feels like those are the kind of players, the role players right now, with Gadeka struggling, Segrist not really getting any looks in the third quarter. The role players have to step up, and that's what Coach Paretta's been looking for consistently this whole season.
Karanji redshirted her first year, missed all but 1 game due to injury last season, and then after playing big minutes the first couple contests this year was sidelined more than a month due to injury. Strong again with a second chance opportunity, converting for 2.
I mean, just bullying her way through on the offensive glass. I mean, extremely impressive, using her strength and living up to that last name of hers.
And check call. A little nickel dimer against Atuso. Both teams well under the limit. Butler still has a foul to give. Nova with 3 to work with. The final 21 seconds of this third quarter.
I know because of the margin this might sound silly, but this feels like a big possession. I mean, Villanova needs to get a bucket here, get some momentum going into the fourth. There's still 10 minutes to go. Anything can happen, but this feels like a big, big possession.
Especially considering the fact that Villanova's offense is designed to shoot 3s. So you don't have to change things to try to score in bunches, except for making shots. 7 on the shot clock. Mullin from straight away. And that's the end of the third quarter. It's the freshman, Brooke Mullin, providing a lift as the Wildcats, for the first time in what feels like forever, with a little momentum. Still, strong effort from Strong and company as Butler up 13 headed to the final quarter.
You're watching Villanova Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3.
Together! This is our time.
When we bring it together, and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go. Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
Getting set for the start of the fourth quarter. Maybe a little bit of momentum for Villanova. The Wildcats have scrapped and clawed their way back within 13 with a big shot from Brooke Mullin at the close of that third quarter.
They need some role players to step up for Villanova. That was big. It was towards the end of the quarter. We were talking about momentum. It was a big possession for Villanova. Down 13 feels a lot better than down 16 going into a quarter. Can they continue to make shots? Can they continue to get good looks? Butler's defense is not wavered in this game. That 4-point second quarter really stands out. Can Butler continue to keep up that defensive intensity? If they do, it's going to be really tough for Villanova to come back because they just have not gotten the stars involved consistently in this game today. And the role players, until the last couple of minutes of that third quarter, really hadn't provided a lot offensively either. But there's 10 minutes to go. It's Big East basketball. A lot can happen. 13 points. Again, that feels a little bit easier than 16, even though it's only a 3-point differential. This first possession, trying to build on that momentum for Villanova, could be very important.
Wildcats went more than 10 minutes without a point at one stage. Sechrist, though, puts 2 more on the board, and Nova back to within 11.
You just feel the arena lift a little bit after that shot went in, and Villanova feel like there's a little bit more of a pep to their step at the start of this fourth quarter on defense. Can they get a big stop here?
Butler only shooting 35% from the floor as a team today. Spolier looking for the response, misses everything. Back to Villanova.
That felt like a Villanova second quarter possession right there. Not really getting a good look, but Butler trying to get back to where they were really successful in the first half with that full quarter court pressure, though a kickball forces it back on the baseline.
Harry Peretta going deep to his bench. He's got Gardler out there. We mentioned Brooke Mullin made that big three near the end of the third quarter. That runs in her family, of course. Her Uncle Chris, a Hall of Famer. Mullin drawing contact and heading back to the free throw line for 2. Chance to get this to single digits.
That felt like a no. Okay, yeah, that works for us. Again, not going into the half court right there. Strong has good position there, but left arm I think was down just a little bit. Made the contact, but like you said, single digits, just 2 free throws away. And with all the kids getting ready to explode in the crowd, could be a turning point.
Mullin cannot convert the first. Her Uncle Chris, of course, a star at St. John's, one of the best in Big East history. His college decision, though, came down to St. John's or Villanova. A lot of people thought he was going to go to Nova, play with his childhood friend Eddie Pinckney, and he thought so, too, until he took the visit down here and saw it wasn't the city. I'm a city kid. Strong back the other way, drawing the contact, and she'll go to the free throw line as Butler. Nice break against the pressure from Villanova.
I always remember hearing those great stories of Eddie Pinckney inviting Chris Mullin down to his end of New York to play pickup, and everyone would turn their heads when they'd see Chris Mullin play on those on the parks back in the day. And of course, both of them went on to have phenomenal college careers. Of course, Pinckney part of that '85 national championship team here at Villanova, and Chris Mullin, one of the 50 greatest NBA players of all time. 2 great benchmarks of not only players but people in Big East Conference history.
Mullin got St. John's to that same 1985 Final Four with Georgetown as well. A lane violation here against Villanova proving costly as Gardler stepped in just a tad too soon. Those are the types of things you can't have happen if you're trying to make a comeback.
Took the words right out of my mouth. You can't give the team that's ahead second chance opportunities like this.
Strong, the 5th-year senior, increases the lead to 12 for Butler.
Takes full advantage of the miscue on the lane violation. And now a little bit more breathing space, but still 9 minutes to go, and Villanova feels like they've gotten a little bit of that momentum back.
Gardler, the deep 2, very deep, but Sechrist there, can't clean it up, and then went over the back of Bra.
You can tell the sense of urgency is there for Villanova. But again, Sechrist is a young player. It's her first full season in college basketball, first season in college basketball after redshirting. She had more time there. Could have really maybe even gotten a foul call there if she'd gone up with the contact. Instead, rushed it a little bit, and then instead commits a silly foul on an over the back and gives it back to Butler.
Second team foul for the Wildcats in this final quarter. Good ball movement from Butler. Parker passed up the 3 into traffic. Nice finish.
Yeah, that's more like it from Genesis Parker. It really sparkled in the first half for Butler. And a crucial bucket there to kind of get Butler's grasp back on the game. And that turnover will sure help as well.
That's a couple of inexperienced players not on the same page. Mullin, the true freshman, thinking Gardner, the redshirt freshman, would stay on the perimeter. And an ill-timed turnover for Villanova. Butler feels like they've got control back in hand. Still a lot of basketball left to be played. I'm Matt Janis alongside Sean St. Jacques. We have Megan Caffrey patrolling the sidelines. Pivotal Big East matchup at the Finneran Pavilion on the main line in PA. Bry, the turnaround jumper wouldn't go, and Nova gets possession back. Try to keep hope alive.
Felt like Butler weathered a little bit of a Villanova flurry right there, and now with just under 8 minutes to play, can Villanova sustain some momentum on the offensive end? And really it's going to their defense is their bread and butter. Can they get some stops? Maybe turn Butler over. That'll help with a foul on the perimeter, but it's going to come down. That's what's been really carrying Villanova a lot this season. They've had sporadic opportunities when they've been really good offensively, but their defense has been really what's carried them. Can they get enough stops? Can they let their defense dictate their offense and maybe get back into this game?
No real foul trouble. Spolier, the first player from either team to pick up her third. Gadeka, tough pass. Good catch from Herlihy, and she was fouled. Couldn't quite get the roll, but will try to trip into the deficit at the free throw line. And just like that, Spolier is in foul trouble. That was her fourth.
And didn't really need it either. The basket was going to go up one way or another. Bit of a foul when you're thinking about the macro part of the game. Maybe didn't need to give that. Now you see her go to the sideline. They're your best player onto the bench with 7:37 to go. And again, big time free throws needed here.
Spolier, the unquestioned team leader for this Butler group, as Herlihy continues to struggle with this stripe. Just an outgoing personality for Kurt Godlewski's team. Says you can always hear her laugh no matter where you are. The basketball complex, at the gym before the game, on the bus. It is infectious. But in some foul trouble, has to sit for a while with her team up 13.
Maybe in the middle of 4,000 screaming kids as well.
Godlewski wants to take a timeout, try to avoid any potential momentum building for Villanova. He's a little frustrated right now. Butler's lead maybe should be much greater. They've got it done defensively. Genesis Parker, the big basket to try to get momentum back. Bulldogs up 13.
You're watching Butler Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Welcome back into Finneran Pavilion, where Butler is up 47-34. And in paying attention to these Bulldogs huddles, interim assistant coach Whitney Jennings, former Butler Bulldogs star guard, is really vocal. And it's interesting in seeing how seamless of a transition it's been from her as a former player into the coaching staff. And head coach Kurt Godlewski told us her senior year, he gave her a lot of leadership responsibilities, saying in practices, she would call the next 5 plays that she would run, and it has been a seamless transition into her as an assistant coach.
All right, good stuff, Megan. Very interesting to hear Godlewski talk about what Whitney Jennings' role has been. Says she provides the players' perspective in the coaches' room, and boy, that can be a welcome commodity for a coaching staff, especially when adversity strikes.
Oh, no question about that. Her basketball IQ is off the charts as well, and she brings so many positive facets to her experience, and obviously was a great player in her own right, and you can feel more comfortable because she's been through the wars as well with this same program, and players I'm sure gravitate to her, and they obviously respect her opinion in a big way.
Gadeka tying up strong. The arrow stays with Butler. 8 to shoot for the Bulldogs. Jennings, one of only 2 players in Butler's program history to score 500 or more points in back-to-back seasons. 5 on the timer for the Bulldogs. Parker sees it, shoots it. Strong the offensive rebound. Got it blocked, but a foul against Seacrest, and that's an example of a fifth-year senior just bodying up a freshman.
10 points and now 4 rebounds for Strong, and yeah, Seacrest a little inexperienced there, didn't really block her out at all, and Strong takes full advantage, and she's been really making an impact slowly but surely down the stretch, and that's the thing that gets unnoticed a lot of times, the blockouts, the fighting for the offensive rebounds, doing your job defensively, and smooth on the free throws as well. Total package later on in these games for Butler, and these are the winning plays that Butler is looking for to close this game out, and that experience really helps down the stretch in Big East play.
Butler coaching staff says Strong plays with a quiet emotion that can really filter through to the rest of her teammates.
Lets her play, do the talking. You kind of can feel that when she's battling on both ends of the floor, and her message is in her play.
Garangi had a feel, needed a bucket, couldn't get it. Weak side rebound, grabbed by the freshman Torre. And somehow she's able to hold off Seacrest, and Butler forces another one and done.
I really like what I've seen out of Torre. I mean, 4 points, but 8 rebounds and 2 assists. She's really done the little things and been really fighting to make things happen on both ends, just like Strong does again there. And you see a little smile on her face after she goes down. She knows she's in complete control right now on both ends as far as the glass is concerned. And didn't take a whole lot for her to go right back up and get the foul, and using her strength. And big players, taller players, stronger players, they love that kind of contact, and when it's going your way, it's a lot of fun. You feel bigger and stronger than everybody else. Things are going your way. You've got the lead. You're gaining momentum. Things going in a positive way. That's when basketball is just, those are the kind of moments you remember when you're a basketball player.
Strong has 5 offensive rebounds in only 19 minutes. Now 13 points, and the lead back up to 16 for Butler.
Yeah, slowly but surely, Butler is putting both hands back in control in this game and getting a stranglehold back on this lead, and feels like Villanova is starting to run out of time.
Garangi again wide open, this time knocks it down.
But it feels like you always have time when you knock down threes, right? The 3 is the magic formula when you're down in games, and if Villanova can knock down a few more of those, it's going to feel like there's a lot more time on the clock, I'll say that.
Only their 7th made tray in 24 attempts, but the offense designed to get 3-point shot looks. Strong again, they run it inside out. Off the mark, Caceres, and Seacrest the rebound. And you get a quick one. James attacking. Finds Garangi again. And just like that, it's down to 10.
It's a big 5 points. I thought Strong maybe got a little too unselfish. Could have gone inside herself, passed up the shot, and Villanova makes Butler pay. And in the blink of an eye, the 3-pointer can be the equalizer. It's a 10-point game.
And this is why Kirk Kudlewski was so frustrated when he called that last time out. Felt like his team let Villanova hang in as James takes the offensive foul from Strong.
I think that Strong caught in 2 minds there, realized maybe that she did miss an opportunity on the last possession, tried to do it herself on that possession, played right into Villanova's hands, and all of a sudden, 5:08 to go. Big possession here for Villanova.
Villanova went on the road this past weekend and won 2 games over Seton Hall and St. John's. The Harry Paredes said he told his team afterwards, I would have given them a negative chance to take both. What chance would he have given his team to make this comeback after going 10 minutes without a bucket, but a big turnover there?
I'd say negative, but 2 negatives make a positive, so.
Boy, that's next level thinking. You're too smart to be working with me. Butler, the clock, an ally right now, up 10 with 4.5 to go. Nice drive, but Hurley there to get a piece.
To be fair, that's all I got as far as negative is concerned.
Well, I'm going to pause to think about that one. Each team's going to catch its breath. Villanova with momentum. It's been Sam Garangi trying to bring them back. A couple of threes, have the Wildcats back to within 10.
You're watching Villanova women's basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Sean. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
.427 to play in the fourth. Villanova has scrapped and clawed its way back in this one, trailing by 10. I'm Matt Janis with Sean St. Jacques, Megan Caffrey here as well. Sean, Nova getting back in this one on the defensive end. They've held Butler without a point over the last 4 minutes
and maybe pull this off, but it starts on the defensive end, and then they continue to get good looks and take advantage of them. Butler feels like they're a little bit of a run away from putting this game away. They just got to get back to what they were doing earlier on the offensive end, making better decisions. It could start right here, but Villanova's defense, if they get back into this, is going to be the reason why, and obviously making some threes.
3 on the shot clock. Spolier back in playing with 4 fouls, misses the rim, and the shot clock violation gives it back to the Wildcats.
Yeah, Butler didn't have a ton of time to work with there, but Spolier had to force one up in the end. Good stand, but Villanova survives that one. This is a crucial possession, trying to get back over the hump. And keep saying it's crucial, but when you're down by so many, you need so many crucial things to go your way. Villanova, bare minimum, need to get a good look here.
Wildcats trailed by as many as 21 at one stage in the third quarter. They were down 16 just 90 seconds ago. Seacrest inside with the turnaround, can't get the roll. Some contact and the tie-up. Nova will keep it.
And Maddie Seacrest there that time not giving away a silly foul. She timed it up a lot better, dove inside. Listen, it's a good look for her. Seton Hall and St. John's game, she probably knocks that down. Today it's been a little bit more of a struggle. She puts in the extra effort. Foot might have been out of bounds there, not sure. Gets the call. Arrow is with Villanova. They get a second chance.
Thought about the 3. Good defense from Atuso. Forced the step back, and consequently it comes up short. Butler gets it back.
Yeah, more times than not, the word you used there, Matt, forced, has really been the offense for Villanova at times today. Really for about 3/4 of this game, it's been forced for Villanova, specifically with Maddie Seacrest, who's still 11 points, but turnovers can help.
Yeah, and now Seacrest wide open for 3. And every time it looks like Villanova poised to get over the hump, that lid gets back on top of the basket.
Yeah, that would have been such a huge shot, not only for Seacrest's confidence down the stretch, but still Villanova trying to get it back to single digits. Feels like it's been forever since they've been that close.
If you're Kurt Godlewski, this is put your head down and just try to get a win. Big East on the road. You're not expecting it to be pretty. 3:20 away, but 5 on the shot clock. Caceres. And that was a huge shot for Butler.
Like you said, not pretty, gritty. The Laval Jordan saying on the men's side, you want to just make sure you get the win. Doesn't matter if it bounces, it matters if it goes in. That was a big, big shot for the Bulldogs.
Now Nova's got to pick up the tempo a little bit, down a dozen with under 3 minutes to go. Karanji works her way to the center of the floor. Herlihy, another step back. Segrist somehow got the offensive board, but missed the banker. Villanova must feel like it's Sunday. The bank has not been open all afternoon long. A foul in the backcourt with the Wildcats over the limit. Free throws coming for Butler.
And, man, I think I've run out of fingers counting up how many times Villanova's missed inside interior looks like that, where it looks like, I mean, any other game this season, Maddie Segrist knocks that shot down with ease. Just feels like that sense of urgency, trying to do maybe a little bit too much, and you miss those huge chances, and now you give Butler an opportunity to maybe salt it away at the free throw line. And Parker, down the stretch this season at times, has struggled, but of late's been so good for Butler. These are the moments when players grow up in the Big East.
It's one of two. Parker on her third school, started at Virginia Tech, played the first 5 games, wanted more regular role, transferred to Cincinnati where she was a regular starter, but has now found her home at Butler.
Boy, what do those 3 schools have in common? Toughness, am I right? Holy smokes.
Absolutely. Is Hurley almost got a tough bucket. Instead, will get a free trip to the line.
It says a lot about her as a player, the kind of culture she wants to play in. And those 3 schools are, you got to bring your lunch pail if you want to make it in basketball at those 3 institutions. They've been around and successful for so long. And Parker, again, it's taken her time, to get involved in the offense and be successful. As Hurley, again, free throws not going for Villanova either. The little plays that she's made, but also the shot making, 11 points. It's been crucial. Spolier with only 14, and some players off the bench not giving you as much as you'd expect from the Bulldogs. It's been important, and she's really put together a complete performance for Butler in a vital road game for them.
One of 2 gets it down to a 12-point game. Some turnovers in the second half have proved costly for Butler. Another here keeps the Wildcats' hopes alive.
One thing that I was going to mention earlier that I wasn't sure about mentioning was maybe, ramping up the pressure on Butler, maybe turning the tables to try to force some turnovers. It works this time, but is it too little too late? There's still some time left for Villanova, but shots have got to go down.
2 1/4 remaining in this fourth. Hurley going to the basket. Karanji. Again, the glass almost, but not quite. And Spolier fouled by Segrist. Will head to the line. That's not who you want to put on the stripe. She's 79% on the season.
And again, not, a contested look, heavily pressured in the corner when the, sideline is basically a second defender. You don't have a lot of room there for error. Can't get it in off the bank. And like you said, it's been closed all day on what's not even a Sunday for Villanova. But it's one of those things where when you're down by this many with this little time left, shots get forced. And when they don't go in, it feels like there's a lot of time left, and rather not a lot of time left. And, Butler feels like they're just a couple of possessions away from putting this one to bed.
Spolier gets 1 of 2, lead back to 13. If you're Butler, you got to feel really good about a 13-point lead on a day where Spolier has struggled to put the ball in the basket. You don't see those very often. Good hands from Torre, knocking it to the baseline.
And with 1:52 left, with the margin at 13, if we're not seeing anything but threes, I'd be a little surprised at this point. Villanova's got to get back to getting open looks from the perimeter if they want any shot.
Mullin hit the big one at the end of the third, gets one off here. And nice board in traffic from Strong. Reach-in foul on Gartner, and that might about do it with 102 seconds remaining. Butler up 13. For Villanova, what's the old cliche? Mama said there'll be days like this. It's been one and then some for the Wildcats.
And that last sequence, I think, was a good microcosm of the game. Villanova kind of forcing it on offense, not getting the best of looks, clanking out a three, and then Butler dominating on the glass, Strong really being a big factor inside, and it leads to free throws, and in this case, a form of offense on the other end with Butler slowly but surely putting this one away.
They continue to struggle at the stripe, though, down the stretch. 1 of 2 again with the lead 14. But I tell you what, if you're Butler, really good defense, particularly in that third quarter, but you mentioned it, the glass work. Just dominating. Plus 13 is taking it away. That time was Bra.
So strong defensively, and you look at the rebounds. 47 to 34, plus 13 in Butler's favor. Just what you'd wanted if you're Coach Godlewski, and he's sitting pretty right now. He's not showing it right now, but he's got to feel pretty darn good with about a minute to go.
Got a game against Georgetown coming on Sunday. Chance to get above 500 in Big East play for the first time this year, as that's the cherry on top. Torre hitting the triple. Butler coming on the road and taking it to Villanova.
Cold-blooded dagger. No other way to put it. Great ball movement from Butler. They've been doing it for just about the entire game, Matt, and one of the role players knocking it down from the near side, and that's just going to do it right there.
And a chance for Godlewski to go deep to his bench as Ellen Ross comes in for the first time. Amelia Sexton, a short run, and Sarah Humphrey, and for the first time as well for Butler as Karanji came down hard. You hold your breath if you're Villanova with all the injuries she's dealt with the last 2 years, flexing that wrist as she comes back the other way.
I think we mentioned it, Matt, kind of putting the bow on top of this performance for Butler. It started with the defense. They ramped up the pressure. That led to that big 20-4 second quarter. They didn't look back from there. A little bit of a run from Villanova earlier in this quarter, stemming off the late third quarter pressure they were putting on Butler. But the composure Butler has shown on both ends has been the difference. The rebounding, defensively changing things up, throwing a lot of different looks at Villanova. It's been a complete defensive performance, and they did enough on the offensive end to put together an impressive win.
And that's the thing. Defense travels.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear coaches
No
talk
question.
about it all the time. Butler didn't play a lot of road games during the non-conference portion of the schedule. Only 2, in fact, but 2 road wins to start their Big East ledger as Butler comes on the road to the Pavilion and beats Villanova 58-41. Still much more to come from the Finn. Megan Caffrey will talk with Butler head coach Kurt Godlewski as his team evens its record in conference play. 2-2 in the Big East, 10-5 overall. Villanova loses its second in league action this year. We'll be back.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
Welcome back into Finneran Pavilion, where I'm joined with Butler head coach Kurt Godlewski. Coach Godlewski, your team was able to hold Villanova to their lowest shooting percentage of the season. How were you able to do it?
Well, I thought our kids were great communicators today. That was number one. And when you communicate with your teammates, it brings a natural energy. So we were able to work through their screening actions. Their offense is obviously very difficult to guard. We did a fantastic job on Sechrist and Jadaka, who are wonderful players. So our kids were just bought in and really focused today.
You talked to us coming into this game about ball movement. That was the message at the half as well. How was your team able to get so many touches on the ball?
Well, I think, like you said, they're willing passers right now, and they're starting to see that when we move the ball and everybody touches it on a possession, we get great opportunities to score. And we've got a lot of versatility where we can score in a lot of different areas of the floor. And then whenever we get that, it just seems like things naturally flow much better for us.
How much confidence does it give your team in the first road trip that you're out here today of the 2-game swing to get the win?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, that's really 2 for us now. We go to Xavier, win. We come here to Villanova, win. It erases those 2 games that we had with St. John's and Seton Hall, puts us right back in the mix. We're pretty pumped.
Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Megan. Impressive stuff from Butler today as they go on the road, win by 17. They've got they have Georgetown up next. Villanova has Xavier, so a couple winnable games ahead for each team. And if you're Kurt Godlewski, you want to keep it rolling on the defensive side.
Gold star next to the defensive performance for Butler today. And again, to hold Villanova to a season low in field goal percentage and the way they played on the offensive end, a fantastic job. Listen, Gadeka and Segrist have been playing so well. It seems like they left their jump shots in Queens, and it was one of those things where Butler just made it really tough every single possession. Well-deserved, and like Coach Godlewski said, 2 tough ones at Hinkle, but they bounce back on the road and they're back on level terms in the Big East. Really, really impressive from the Butler Bulldogs on enemy territory.
They hold Mary Gadeka to just 4 points. Butler is now 10-5 overall, 2-2 in conference play, and off their best offensive performance of the year at Xavier, they play great defensively at Villanova. For our producer Sam Rubin, Sean St. Jacques, and Megan Caffrey, I'm Matt Janis. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Once again, the final score, Butler 58, Villanova 41.